This is the book of First Peter, chapter 4, verse 17, and it reads, "For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai?" All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Hakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like unto the speckled bird, also known your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayasha Barazal coming back at you with another lesson. I'm from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone. And just wanted to touch on this article here. I was going to do it before the Esau's New Year, but I'm kind of glad that I waited because this year, 2024, has been declared by our beloved Apostle Tahar as the year of Jacob's trouble. And we know, again, like according to the scripture I opened up with, that judgment is going to begin at the house of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which is the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And I saved this screenshot of this article. I do have the article saved as well, too, if we really want to get into the meat of it. But the most important thing here is the article reads, "Fans tell Simone Biles to file divorce papers ASAP as husband Jonathan Owens calls himself the catch in the relationship." Now, both of them being somewhat celebrities who have their constellation on this side, they may be aware that they are Israelites, but may not be fully into the law, statutes, and commandments. And I would venture to echo that, because right after this situation caught wind, both of them were dressed in each other's clothes, and we know that's against the scriptures. Okay, but in any case, that's neither here nor there. But he is right. He is right about the man being the catch as we come into these troubling times. And most of those fans were, of course, from what I've seen, so-called black women, running their mouths again, just speaking when they shouldn't be speaking. At the same time, these individuals should not be letting their business out into the public. They're public figures. It's like it says, the bedroom shouldn't defile. There should be no defilement of the bedroom, according to the scriptures. And that's not only what you let in, that's also what you let out, which opens that door for things to come in. Okay. But in any case, whether, he knows it scripturally or not, it is true. The man is the catch. And a lot of these women are going off about all of her accolades, about being the most decorated gymnast in history, having moves called after her own name. That means nothing. All those accolades, the riches gained from that means nothing. And I'm going to quote here, Salaki, as I'm working with the two screens. This is the book of Proverbs. Book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 4. And it reads, "Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death." Okay, so, all the great things that you have in this world are going to mean nothing when the Lord comes back with that judgment. It's only righteousness that's going to deliver from death. And, that for a lot of households, that's going to come through the man. All right, the elect man. Let me make that clear. elect man, and that's only of the nation of Israel. Okay, it's going that righteousness will deliver your whole household, as in the case with Cornelius. If we know that story in Acts. All right, his coming back, being a devout man, doing his best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, having that faith, delivered his whole household, as it was told to him. All right, but in any case, the man is the catch. But while this is going on, there's a lot of you women, you're gonna have some heavy judgment, especially now that this year has been declared the year of Jacob's trouble. All right. This is the book of Ezekiel, verse. Let's see. Let me get that here. Ezekiel 9, and I'm going to start at verse 4. Verse 4, and it reads, "And the Lord said unto him," talking to the angels, "Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, the people, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." Okay, and that mark is goes into the Hebrew word the wa, which is a mark or for exemption from judgment in the worst way. Okay, for all the men that sigh and cry. Who are those men that are sighing and crying? That's the prophets. Isaiah 58:1, roughly paraphrased, says, "Cry aloud, spare not, and show my people their transgressions." All right, roughly paraphrasing Isaiah 58:1. That sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Okay, so that's talking about the prophets who are, part of the elect men, the hopeful elect. All right. Verse 4, "And to the others he said in mine hearing, Go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity." Verse 6, "Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not near any man whom is the mark, and begin in my sanctuary." Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Okay, and he says, "Slay utterly old and young, both maids." Those are women of marriageable age, fairly good-looking women of marriageable age. Okay, little children, which includes young girls and young boys. Okay, and women. And when you go into that word women, in the etymology of the word, as well as the blue letter, it means a servant and also wife. So you wives that are, giving the man of God hell out there, he's going to take you out as well too. That's why, during the teachings, two-thirds of our people are going to be taken out, according to Zechariah 13:8. Okay, and the 1/3 is going to be, which is the elect, beginning with 144,000, and the remaining after that will be the innumerable multitude of women and men and children. Okay, so yeah, you're going to be those women, who are giving the elect man hell. You're going to have a terrible time, and when this day of judgment comes. And like I said, this year has been declared the year of Jacob's trouble. So it's not looking good. And the reason why I say it's not looking good, I got some images coming up here that have gone viral. However, I'm going to give the copyright disclaimer, because these images do have names of people on them, and it's only used for the purposes of this video. I'll go ahead and read it. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right. So let's go ahead and look at some of these photos. You know, and these things are circulating all over the internet. You know, boy, bye. You know, throwing him out of the house. You know, all his clothes outside on the ground. All right. Look at her. Single again. Okay. Look at him. Giving him the middle finger. You know. Solo. You know, and then kicked another man out of the house. And that's the thing here. You know, if you know, you Israelite men, if it's not your place, don't be moving in with no woman for reasons just like this. They get off on this, on ruling over you, okay? Which is talked about in Isaiah 3, okay? Over it. You know, look how small they've made him, you know. All of his clothes outside on the ground. All right? Like I said, these things are going all over the internet, viral. You know, her shirt, fuck out of here. You know, put his stuff in boxes. You know, he don't know what's going on. You know, just kicked out. You know, and dressed like her. I swear. All right. Single again. Same situation. Just, you know, and this is the mindset of the so-called black woman. You know, having that control. Having that control over them, you know. Like the scriptures say, you know, a woman shall compass a man. All right. And when you, you know, move into a house with a woman, you know, you have no leverage, you know. And that's even in cases when most men have their own homes. You know, if they get into an altercation, his name can be on the deed, okay? She calls the police and they make him leave, okay? So no man who calls himself a man should be moving in with a woman under these circumstances, okay? But these things are going to change here. Let me get this scripture first. This is Proverbs 31:3. And it reads, "Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways which destroyeth kings." And, you know, in each one of these photographs, these guys are for the most part, homeless right now. You know, nowhere to go. All right? Can't be doing that. All right? So, with that, you know, let me go ahead and get to the next scripture to set some order to things. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 7. And it reads, "For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, but the woman is the glory of the man." All right, so you so-called God-fearing women, you know, talking about wanting a God-fearing man, no, you're not in the image of the Most High. It is the man. That's clear right here. That's, you know, he tells you that in Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 26. You know, let us make man according to our image, according to our likeness. All right, roughly paraphrasing. Verse 8, and it reads, "For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man." Verse 9, "Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man." All right, and that goes back into that definition in both the etymology of the word woman and when you go into the blue letter. A woman means wife or servant. Okay, so she was made to serve the man. All right, point blank, period. All right, and it is that man's job to teach her how to live godly. You know, as the scriptures say, if a woman learns anything, she learns from her husband who is at home. Okay, and that's not the husband according to the standards of Babylon the Great. All right, your husband is according to the law the man that you are sleeping with. All right, and I have to qualify that as well. Um, you know, you being a virgin or single, or the men that you slept with prior to the current man are all deceased according to the law. Okay, you get that account of the law in Deuteronomy 22 verses 13 on down, the whole marriage law, and then the book of Romans chapter 7 verses 2 and 3. All right, so your husband is the man that you slept with, not so much a marriage license. Okay, many of our people don't know that the first marriage license was given out in Massachusetts, in the colony, Slovakia, the colony of Massachusetts, in 1639. Well, that was just 20 years after the slave ship landed in Jamestown, Virginia. Okay, and the Israelites were not allowed to be married. So what was our custom? Scriptures tell you what our custom was for marriage. All right, go check that out. All right, so yeah, that's the thing here. You know, the woman is supposed to be learning from her husband, and as you saw in those pictures, all those men were kicked out of the home. You know, you didn't see any evidence of children. That's not the point. But at the same time, it is his duty to teach his sons and his sons' sons. Okay, according to Deuteronomy 4 and 9. And what's he teaching them? The law, statutes, and commandments. You know, that's what he's teaching them. So the thing is, not only your whole, when you, and based on those pictures, when you kick that man out of the household, you know, your house and you and your children pretty much don't have any covering, you know, unless they're one of the, especially if that man was an elect man that, you know, is supposed to provide covering for that home. If he's removed, you know, you now have no covering. All right. And the Lord is only dealing with the men. You know, we know according to Psalms 147, verse 19 and 20, you know, he shows his word and statutes unto Jacob only. He's not dealt so with any other nation. So you have a very specific man who can be a covering for you, you so-called God-fearing women, you know, you Israelite women, you know, big Shirleys, you know, so-called black woman, you know, you really don't know about the Most High, or you wouldn't be doing these things. Okay, you wouldn't be doing these things, but that's your lot. All right, that is your lot. But just to show you that the Lord is only dealing with the men, this is the elect men of the nation of Israel. This is Ezekiel 34. 30 and 31. And it reads, Thus shall they know that I, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, their power, am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith Yahweh our power. Verse 31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men. I am your power, saith Yahweh our power. There, right there. He tells you. He's dealing with the men. Let me back that up. Revelations 21 and 3. And it reads, And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai himself shall be with them and be their power. He's dealing with the men, lady, and you know, things like those photographs, those AI photographs, that's actually a reality. You know, you look forward to doing that stuff. You know, and if that man is an elect man and you're pushing him out, like I said, you and your children have no covering. You know, unless Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to have mercy, because it's not so much the child's fault as it is yours doing these things. Okay. And I don't want to get on into the semantics of, you know, what he did, you know, because we see every day throughout social media, you know, the standards change on what's required of men. You know, what you wanted yesterday is not the same thing that you want today. All right. And we're going to stay on top of that because, you know, as I said in Ezekiel 9:4, that the woman was mentioned 3 times, that the Lord is sending the angel to smite. You know, he said slay utterly, you know, destroy all of them that have that mark. You know, the ones that don't have the mark, Salakia, the ones that don't have the mark from exemption. Okay, destroy utterly all of them. And in that scripture, women, you know, were mentioned in 3 times in the same scripture. So let that be a warning to you. You know, if you're out there messing around on the hopeful elect man of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and his prophets. Okay, let this be a warning to you, because this the times that we're coming in, Jacob's trouble, as the scriptures say, it should be like a time never seen before in all the history of the world, roughly paraphrasing. You see that, get that in Daniel chapter 12, 1 and 2. All right. So, yeah, he's only dealing with the men. All right. And because he gave men that wisdom. Okay. That's what that breath of life was. He gave to Adam. He didn't breathe into the woman. I'm going to prove that here. Okay. Genesis 2 and 7, he breathed into Adam. Okay. And we know that that breath was wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay. According to the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verses 24 through 25. Okay. Get the whole thing on wisdom. But yeah, specifically right there, that breath of power. Okay. That's what he gave Adam. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay. He did not breathe into the woman. Okay. He did not breathe into her. And that's for a reason, because he gave Adam charge. Okay. But just like, you know, that woman was, Eve was wicked in the garden. Same thing here as shown in those pictures. Okay. And it's to prove he gave that wisdom to the man. Let me get the book of Proverbs, chapter 8. Start at verse 1. And it reads, Doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of the high places, by the way in the places of the paths. She crieth at the gates, and at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Here's the point, verse 4. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. All right? That's clear. That's clear. He gave that wisdom to men, and he didn't give it to women. All right? This is Job 39 and 17. And it reads, Because Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. Okay? Like I said before, he breathed into Adam. He never breathed into the woman. All right? And how he breathed into the nostrils of Adam? And how would one breathe into the nostrils of someone? With their mouth. All right? This is Proverbs 2 and 6. And it reads, For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. Point blank, period. All right? He's not dealing with you. He's not dealing with you. However, that, as we come into these times, he talks about the elect men, and he's going to raise them up. All right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 12. He says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. That's an elect man. Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Okay? So that man is going to be very, 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 very valuable, in that day of judgment, And like I said, there's a lot of you so-called Israelite women, that go by the byword of blacks, Hispanics, or Native Americans, Negroes, Hispanics, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, Salakia. Okay? The ones that are wicked, giving hell upon the prophets and the elect men. All right? Yeah. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to deal with you in that day of judgment. All right? This is Isaiah 32. And I want to say verse 2. Yeah. Isaiah 32, verse 2 and 3, I'll read. All right. And it reads, And a man, an elect man, shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So, yeah, that man is going to be a hedge of protection, divine protection, in that day of judgment. Okay? He's going to be a hedge of protection. And these people are going to know who they are. And that's verse 3. And the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. So in that day, you're going to see who they are, and you're going to be listening to them. Finally, for some of you, it's going to be too late. All right? Too damn late. Because your judgment, you don't have that mark of exemption. All right? The Thawa. All right? You don't have it. And that's because of all of your wickedness. It's like we saw in those pictures. But that tune, let those pictures that were I showed in this video, there's going to come a day, and that day is coming soon, where that attitude is going to change. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, and verse 1. And it reads, And in that day of judgment, 7 women, that's, not 7 exactly, but 7 means a complete number, okay? In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So all those women with the big mouths in those pictures, the women that act like that, giving the middle finger to my boy, bye, all this and all that, here it is right here, in writing, especially if you call yourself a so-called God-fearing woman, okay? Here it is right here in writing, y'all gonna be scrambling for an elect man, because that's what it's talking about. That one man is an elect man, not just any man, an elect man from the nation of Israel. Okay? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? And the Israelite foreigners that look like the heathens of the lands we've been scattered to. All right, the Israelite foreigners. All right. So he's over here. It says again, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. What's that? That's that whole notion about not needing a man's money. You got your own money. Yeah, the so-called bad bitch, strong black woman. That's talking about you right here. Okay. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our approach. How are you called by name? You know, you that's marriage. Okay. And you're gonna go back to the old customs. Because in that day, won't be dealing with no courthouse. You know, you're gonna take hold of that. So many of y'all gonna take care of that hold of that man. And that, that even in this last days, that just proved, there was a, it was customary for Israelite men to have more than one wife. Here it is right here. Right here in writing. To take away our reproach. That's that judgment. But as you saw in Ezekiel chapter 9, verses 4 through 6, a lot of you so-called women ain't going to make it. Ain't going to make it. So with that being said, you know, he was very right about saying that the man is the catch. You all are going to find out here real soon how true that is. Okay? But we're talking about an elect man of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He's not dealing with the wicked 2/3 of our people. All right, so with that, I hope this lesson was edifying for the body. Once again, I'm going to get all the elect body, Salakia. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.